Okay.
Okay.
So your name?
Okay, my name's Manuel Cabrera. Um, I'm 72 years old. I'm a D2437. I was issued a license in about December of 1969. Okay, and I started jumping in Oceanside, California. It was a small drop zone on the southern end of Camp Pendleton, the little dirt runway, and a lot of the Marines were jumping there, and some of the Navy personnel, and then civilians. So that's why I started jumping there in 1965, something like January of 1965. And then I just went on, and I joined the Latin Skydivers in 1968. 1968, and then right there was a transition, and Latin Skydivers are going from the 1.1 parachute uh, surplus parachutes. So we all bought brand new paracommanders, and we were the first club in the United States, other than the Golden Knights and the United States parachute team, that all had the same colors, which was the Latin colors, green, white, and red. And right about then, Pioneer started making the modern jumpsuit that everybody was using, and then we had the French jumpsuit. So that was our start, kind of there, and we started going up north, jump with the Northern California jumpers, coming to Arizona, and we started traveling a little bit and getting out a little bit. That was a big transition from the company. We got to be known, and we started having club meets, fun meets, so not serious, you know. We'd have them in Paris, in Elsinore, which Elsinore turned out to be our home base. You know. So we went there, and then on one of those trips to Arizona is where we happened to meet the Rebel Skydivers. And then we just started jumping with them afterwards. We would have what they call piranhas together, a fun meet, you know, a little bit of accuracy, two-way get together, things like that. Not real serious, but fun meets. And have a barbecue later on and stuff like that. And that's how we evolved from there. And so during my career of skydiving, it's been great. You know, I've jumped in Hawaii, and then with the Latins, we've jumped a lot in Mexico. And I had an incident in Taft, California about 1971. I had a malfunction, and I had to pull my reserve. And there was a canal coming through right by the drop zone, and somehow I just thought I could fly over it, but I didn't make it. And I went in the canal with jump boots, and we had conventional gear there, front mount and everything. And I went down, and it just been rebuilt, or it wasn't flowing completely. It was flowing, but not. So I was able to. I was saved from there. But everybody says it'd been 10 or 15 minutes while I was down below, and all I can remember was trying to get up. I grew up on the waterfront. I was never afraid of the water. So that's all I remember. It was just, oh God, I mean, I got to get up, and I was just struggling like this. And that's all I remember. And I woke up. I was on the bank, and people were pounding on my chest and getting me up, and everybody was screaming, and I survived that, you know, through my friends. And but they said it was a long time. I've always heard like after 5 minutes or so, you get brain dead or whatever. But I was okay. How I survived, I don't know. But everybody insists it was a long, long time. I was down before they were able to drag me out. And there was a photographer there. He had one picture left, and I'm not in the picture. It just shows two or three people swimming, like dragging something, but I'm completely out of the picture. So I survived that, you know, and it was just one of those things. And in the old days, a lot of people knew about that story. I don't think anybody knows about it now. And but the skydiving has been just a great thing, you know, meeting different people, you know. And
After that incident, how long was it until you jumped again?
I jumped right away. You know, they say you got to get on it right away. As soon as I was able to gather my gear, I had to borrow some gear. I spent a week in the hospital, so it might have been about 2 weeks later. Yeah, that I borrowed some gear, bought a reserve, and because they had to tear my jumpsuit open. I don't know why somebody did that. They were giving me CPR and everything. And but no, I was in the air right away. I just love skydiving. And And it's just been a great sport for me all these years. And I'm 72, and I don't have any intentions of giving it up right now. I don't have any intentions. I have been in lakes and pain, so I've had some hard lands. I've never broken anything, but I've had some sprains and things like that. So I'm starting to filling up, and I'm doing stretches and stuff, keeping my weight down. So I've already made a jump this morning, and if I can, I'll make another one or two this afternoon, and tomorrow if they're going to be jumping again, I will jump again. And I'm just going to keep going, just keep jumping. But
Keep going. How about the culture of the rebels? You touched on that a little bit with your
yeah,
connection there.
yeah, because believe it or not, in the sport, there's not a lot of Latins jumping, Latinos. And here we find a club that's almost like us. So it's great, to get together, a Latin club like this. And we're proud, all Mexican Americans, and most of us have been in the military and served our country and everything. And with the rebels, to be jumping with the kids now, it's fantastic. I remember some of them. Some I don't because they were little kids. Like just right now, there's kids running around, and I just see them. I see them as kids. I don't, but the jumpers are jumping now. They were there. They were there. When they were 2 or 3 years old. It's like that. And yeah, we've been close. We've been close. We're like family now. We go back and forth. They come to California. We come to their weddings, christenings, whatever. And that's how it's been with the rebels. And it's just going to continue that way. And my club is down to about 4 people now. And but it's okay. I come over here and enjoy these guys and jump with them, and they're going strong right now. And one day they might slow down a little bit. That's how it goes. Sometimes there's spurts and things happen, financial matters, things like that. And yeah, it's been good. It's been a good.
So this project is going to be part of the Skydiving Museum, where people can go to the website and see some of these interviews. If you have one thing to say to someone very new to skydiving that wants to get a flavor for the life, what would you say? Just a short statement to someone new to the sport.
I'd say go for it. That's how I would say. Just go for it. It's expensive and it's a lot of work, but just you're going to meet a lot of nice people. It's going to be a fantastic sport, you know. And I'm just talking about the ground part of it. And naturally, the jump is always great. The free fall, it's just you can never get over it. So great, so wonderful. That's what I would say.
How about the transition you've seen in, round to square?
Yeah, that was a big transition. I didn't want to go to the squares at first. I'm comfortable with the round. I got to learn how to land it right, everything. But we did make a exhibition jump in Gilroy. We jumped into this park called Christmas Hill Park. And some people had rounds, like myself, some people had squares. So we went out, the wind came up, and the squares landed right on the park, real nice, touchdowns. And we were in a residential area, power lines and everything, and we all made it. I just saw an empty lot, and as I got near the ground, I cranked it, and I landed in an empty lot. I was young and good shape, so I didn't get hurt. There was a couple of guys that landed on roofs, and things like that. So after that, I thought, what, I think it's time to transition, you know. But we've gone through a few transitions because we used to use ripcords, and then we had to go to the leg mount. That was a little different. Then they put it behind you, behind you. BOC, and I think, well, they've always said you got to look as you pull and everything, and it wasn't necessarily true. And so far, that's been the best thing yet. I think it's out of the way, and you come in for your pull and it's clear and everything. So things like that. So they were all meant for a reason, And then the automatic opener, in the beginning, people didn't like those because they could misfire, And now I jump with an automatic opener, AAD, and they got these electronics, the Pro Ditter gives you those signals when you want to lose track of time if you're in a star, and so they've all been good. The gear is good. That Serpent's gear was hard on us. All that hardware on there and everything. It's one size fits all. But now it's all custom, and it's been better yet. They made it wonderful. Yeah, it was good. Transition was very good.
Thank you so much for your story and your time.
Okay.
We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah. I guess if I really dug in my mind, there could be other stuff.
You can dig.
We could be here all afternoon.
Well,
yeah.
We can always hit the pause button and come back to it. If you think of something good, grab me and we'll do it.
Okay, fine.
I'd love to. Thank you.
That was basically.
That's beautiful.
Basically.
Beautiful.
How did you like going to Felicity?
You know what? I have a special feeling for that place. I was there about 7 years ago, and I met Jacques, and I love it. There's just a good feeling there, I just stopped there a couple of weeks ago. I was going to the Yuma Air Show. I stopped to see Jacques and his wife. And whenever I'm going to Arizona, I stop just to say hello. And he's always busy. He was writing letters off to the New York Times, Oh, they said some article about me that was weird and da-da-da. What do you think? Here, he some of that. Yeah, that's good, Jack. That's good. You write back and you tell him what you feel. And he's a character.
If you had something to say to Jacques Estelle right now, what would you say to Jacques Estelle?
Keep going, Jacques. Don't let nobody mess with you. You're doing the right thing, and I love you, Jacques.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it. Thank